Put it to me.
Are fake geek girls really a thing, and like, what do you think about that? Like people who are being fake.
I've been waiting for this question, mostly because all of my life I have been called a fake geek girl. I've been called a fake nerd girl. That's why I was so like in the closet about being a fan, because of course you can't be a fan of this stuff, and people always like thought that I was fake or I was trying to get attention or I really wasn't a fan. But at the end of the day, you can't call someone a fake anything. Like, we don't know what, looking at some of the people here in the store, I don't know. I could go home and their whole entire house could be decked out with Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who. I don't know. I don't know people's lives, just because there are some people that walk around with their heart on their sleeve and, you know, they'll be decked out, you know, head to toe in fandom stuff. But then there's some of us that are more quiet about it. And I don't think that that's really fair to put some kind of label on someone as like, you're fake, you're not really one of us. And it's like, nope, you know what? Even if you like it this much or fill in this entire room with your fandom love, it doesn't matter. You're part of my fandom and I will love you and accept you. You can come hang out with me.
I totally agree with that. It seems kind of like, even if you've only seen the movies, to say that you're a fake geek or a fake geek girl, I just feel like that it just puts up this wall of exclusion, which is really disappointing. Or you set up like a group of people who feel elitist, where you know, they know more, we've read everything, and so somehow it pushes those people away. When a lot of times in the messages of whether it's the movies or the stories or the comics is about inclusion or finding yourself. And so I feel like putting that wall up where you're saying, well, you're a fake geek girl, it pushes people who could potentially bring a lot to a conversation or a lot to your fandom, it pushes them away before they're even able to get a chance to be there.
Okay, now I have a question. Okay. Because when I read that question, something else came to my mind. I had never known anyone, I didn't even know this existed, this problem existed, where people are being accused of being fake fangirls. The way fake fans have been described to me, male or female, but primarily female, is that the merchandise is out there, and they see the merchandise as a fashion statement and something to wear to be cool. They may not know what Star Wars is. They don't even know what a stormtrooper is, but they're wearing the gear because it's cool today. And to me, that's what it meant to be a fake fangirl. People are doing it because of the fashion statement, because it's the cool thing to be wearing. So that's how it's been presented to me.
No, I agree.
And I don't know what your take is on it, or how much of an issue this really is.
Yeah, I mean, I could just like, I was thinking about this not that long ago when I first read the questions, like because I know girls that are just, you know, not only girls and guys, they're just like, oh, this is the trend right now. This is like Star Wars. It's really big because the Star Wars movies are about to come out. So I'm going to get all into Star Wars and all that stuff. But you know what? Those people, the people that go with the trend, that are part of this is what's in right now and I'm going to go with it, and then tomorrow I'm going to go with the next thing that's in, they kind of help us. Like before, I could not find anything Marvel, anything. But now, because everybody wants something Marvel, because Marvel is really popular, I can go to Walmart and find a t-shirt for $5 and it's great. Where before I would have to go online and spend hundreds of dollars trying to find something just to fit my fandom. And I know that probably in a few years it's going to go back out of, superheroes are going to go back out of style. Like nerd culture from when I was young was a negative thing. And then now it's become this really big positive thing. It's cool to be a nerd. Everyone wants to be a nerd. Yes, I agree. Everyone come be nerds with us. But if you leave in a few years, oh well, that means our group just gets a little back smaller. We're a little more intimate, and, you know, everyone is where they are, and it kind of makes things easier for all of us.
Well, and these aren't people that are necessarily going to conventions or buying the comic books or watching the shows. They're just buying the fashion products. And so, yeah, but I think that's another part of that whole fake fangirl. Mm-hmm. And that was the only part of it that I was familiar with, was, you know, well, it's a fashion statement. We have no idea what a stormtrooper is, but we're going to do this dance and we're going to wear the shirts and so forth. But it is...
What a stormtrooper is, man. You've been living in a closet.
Yeah. and you know, I've encountered some of these people, and that's how I first encountered it. There was this group of girls on campus, and you know, they're all wearing stormtrooper shirts, and I thought they were into Star Wars. Yeah. So why wouldn't I, you know? But they had no idea. They'd never seen the films. They're just wearing the shirts. And then I inquired with some of the students, that I knew, and they say, well, yeah, they're doing that.
Yeah.
I said, really? I had no idea.
It is a thing. Yeah.
So I guess it is a thing.
It is a thing.
Okay.
But it's a semi-good thing, and I still wouldn't I personally would never call someone a fake geek girl. Whether other people do it themselves, I can't stop other people. Like I said, I can't stop other people from doing what they want. This is a free country. If you're going to call a girl a fake geek girl, that's your thing. I personally wouldn't do it because I know how it feels to be on the receiving end of that, and it hurts.
Okay, so again, with like the shopping online to find your stuff, there's a distinct lack of merchandise geared towards women and girls. What responsibility do you think retailers have to provide this type of merchandise? What responsibility do fans have in making sure creators and license holders provide the merchandise? I don't know if I need to do that one up or not. But
Nope. So we're talking about merchandise, people, if you didn't catch that. So I think it's the company or the people that are in charge of the licensing. Their job is to listen to the fans and give us what we want. It's our job as the fans to sit there and go, hey, we want some Black Widow stuff. And then Disney / Marvel or whoever is in charge of it needs to be like, oh, hey, you want Black Widow stuff? Okay, here's some Black Widow t-shirts. Here's some Black Widow figurines. Here's some Black Widow stuff. You want anything else? Oh, you want some Storm things? Here you go. Yeah. I feel it should be that kind of easy of a give and take. Like if there's enough people out there going, hey, we want this, and it's pretty obvious. Like you go online, there's polls about it. There's all sorts of outreach and outcry for it. It's pretty evident that this is something that fans, not only female but male, also want. And it's their job as the retailer to be like, oh, yeah, okay, we need to give this to you.
Yeah, I think the responsibility of the fans is to make sure that the retailers and merchandisers know that desire is out there. A lot of times they write it off as, oh, the new Avenger movie's out, it's a boy toy. And they're all going to be boy toys, even though Black Widow had this amazing scene in the movie where, spoiler alert, she jumps off a plane on a motorcycle and takes off, and it's really cool. But then when they made the toy, they made it with Captain America, and it just excluded her. Where one, it changes the movie, and then two, it really downplays her role in the movie and presents it that she either wasn't good enough for it, or if a boy were to get a figure of her, that somehow he is less of a boy for having a girl figure. And then little girls who want the figure, they don't have that accessible to them either. So the desire for it is there, but you just got to keep being vocal about it. And there have been really awesome moments where you see those glimpses. I feel like it was like a Disney store or something in England or something like that, but online a little girl noticed that a Star Wars costume was listed for boys. And so her mom wrote to them and they changed their website. So now it's just Star Wars costume. So there's just those little things that can make a big difference in making sure that everyone can be included and that it opens it up to a lot more people. And the biggest thing would be teaching your children, boys and girls, to empathize with one another. It's not a bad thing for a girl to like a boy character or a bad thing for a boy to like a girl character. It can go both ways, and it really just opens up people a lot more to each other.
Yeah, and that's the point I was going to make, was the point about the cultural imagery with respect to a little boy wanting a girl figurine or a girl, superhero T-shirt or something because it's his favorite character. And some parents still have that stigma attached to it. It's like, oh, my little boy can't have this. That's not for a boy. It's for a girl. Well, and sadly, we don't have enough, superhero toys, figurines, or T-shirts for the little girls. So people actually need to start thinking differently as parents, on a cultural level. And they also need to start contacting, the franchises, the corporations, and saying, look, we want this merchandise. If you produce this merchandise, we're going to buy it. There's no question about it. So, two things I think need to change: our attitudes about what little boys and girls want and what's acceptable for them to have, and then reaching out and letting it be known to the franchises, the corporations, the guys that are producing the movies, the guys that are writing the comics. Hey, you want a merchandise? Yes. You want people to buy your stuff? Yes, of course you do. Well, you need to make this stuff too, and we can guarantee you'll have quite the business. You're in the business to make money, we will give you money. So I think, just getting that word from people and getting the word out to the people that make the decisions is a big step.
I've bought enough guy shirts. Where I know that money could have gone into the women's section if it had been available.
Right.
So, and then I know I've got my daughter enough shirts from the boys section where if it had been in the girls section, I mean, that's, again, buying power that just goes unnoticed because it's not available in the female section.
And like I work over in the mall in a children's store, and we sell My Little Ponies and Avengers. Now, in the thing that we got for the displays, it says this is for the girls, My Little Ponies, and the Avengers are for the boys. We made a poll the first couple of weekends that we had them. We had more boys buy My Little Ponies, and we had more girls buy Avengers. So we had to call corporate and tell them, you can't really market this as My Little Pony is for girls and Avengers are for boys when we have more boys buying My Little Ponies who are then getting upset because it's for girls. And then we have girls getting Avengers who are getting upset because that's for boys. It's like everything should be for everybody. You're a child. It doesn't matter.
And really, there's a huge fan base of all males that are into My Little Pony. Right? Yeah. And it blew me away the day I discovered this. And I'm like, really? And then yeah.
How many bronies do we have in the audience?
We must have at least one. I'm sure you're one.
There's gotta be one.
There's got to be somebody.
Don't be ashamed.
And I'm sure the corporation has no. How do they not have any clue about this?
I feel like how it's for little girls. It's like, you know what? There's a lot of people that watch that show.
Yeah, and they're even doing fan art, and it's boys who are doing the fan art. And it's like, well, how are they? They can't be this oblivious to it. But yet,
I think they pretend.
Yeah.
They're like ostriches.
And
head in the sand.
but I think that's where it comes back to that whole cultural concept, that cultural imagery that we still haven't really broken away from.
Yeah.
We may, and like I said earlier, with the coming of the new films and some changes we're seeing with female characters, we may be finally at some sort of turning point. So we'll see what happens.
Yes.
Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.